Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Last year, at the end of the day, I asked people to come up and say, hey, if you've got something interesting that isn't tied into something where you're making money directly, you have a chance to kind of share it with the audience. And this big guy here, Stephen Fisher, was one of them. And he stood up and he says, yeah, how many Firefly fans in the audience? Right. So I don't think it gets any more Firefly fanish, sorry. Fans. I'm sorry, browncoatish than these two individuals. We have Stephen Fisher and mike-dougherty. Michael, director of Browncoats-redemption, which is the card you all have in front of you right now. I really believe that what they're doing should set the bar for every piece of fiction that's created that just dies. Not because the fans wanted it to die, but because someone else didn't think it was viable any longer. And George Lucas should have taken a page from your book with those prequels, by the way.
Thank you.
What prequels?
Right. Well, yeah, they were stricken from canon. What was it? Highlander? Was it Highlander 2 or 3?
Was there a little kid annoying something?
Something like that. Yes. Yeah, okay. Highlander 2 or 3 was stricken from canon. Which one? Do you remember?
I think it was 3. That was the
Was it 3?
out of space one.
It was so bad that the next one they came out with, it was all just an imagined dream. It was so bad. Fans didn't like it, and they just disavowed any association. So either way, introducing you here to Stephen Fisher and mike-dougherty, and they're going to show you how you can change the world.
Thank you.
We got mics.
We're taken care of.
All right, guys, so we've talked about an amazing amount of topics today, community, content. So you all sci-fi fans, right? Come on. Yeah, you're Firefly fans. Well, Firefly came on.
Hold on. By a show of hands, who has not heard of Firefly, we want to make sure this is relevant. One guy, you have to leave the room, dude.
Yeah, you're
I'm really sorry, just have a seat. Actually, Hulu.com, put your headphones on, this will make sense later.
Yeah, then there's a film thing, and we'll get into that. But what we started 2 years ago, was we love Firefly, and we wanted to create a film that continued the story. But it's all about passion. But before the details, we want to, dim the lights and give you a little something.
That just sounded wrong.
It should be played. Is it going? There it goes.
Contacted Feldman on the way in. He's got a job for us to pick up if we're interested.
You meet my man at the place and carry the cargo the rest of the way to Boris.
We have a pilot.
Let's pretend this deal is contingent on you taking one on.
Seems to me I've got the same equipment as you do, lady, so if you can captain the ship, I just might be able to fly it. You need the job and I need the work.
If you're the pilot we're getting saddled with, the deal's off.
Redemption is as much a part of this crew as anyone else on it.
If you say she's got it where it counts, I'm gonna laugh.
We are dangerously close to not affording heat on the ship.
We need that girl more than she needs us.
This is my ship, and the last thing I need is some doxy thinking she has leverage over us.
Man, is she always so severe?
When it's called for.
Came in the captain? You go way back, don't you?
Your ship is landlocked. Your crew is probably ready to sell you out at a moment's notice. You're outmaneuvered.
You'll find a way. You always have. I want you to set aside your preconceived notions of what you think the Alliance to be and listen. So you just want me and mine to lay down, give you what you want. Isn't that the way you independents work?
Laura! And I ain't about to take one of you down with me. You run, full burn and gone. I mean to end it.
There's no way he's just gonna let us go.
Him or me, it goes no further than this rock tonight.
Browncoats-redemption. Great director, isn't he? So we're just going to go through a couple of things today. We're going to talk about how it started, what you've kind of heard a lot of this before, but we're going to talk about growing an audience, the production team, and we're going to find out if all of you are Browncoats, because there's some in your audience that actually are and have proven it. And then we're going to talk about how you can help us make a difference. So how we all got started about 2 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia, a place called Dragon Con. And we were thinking about doing a film. We love Firefly, and we went to this really huge convention in Atlanta. It's kind of like Comic-Con. It's about 40, 50,000 people, and they're a great group of people. We asked, would you be interested in something like this? And they were like, yes, we would. So we started work on it, and like Mike said, you really should talk about this, because you've done so much with the community stuff. We've heard this all before, but,
So, if you can go back one slide, just 1 second, just for a brief explanation for those that don't know. Serenity is the movie sequel to the TV show Firefly. What the fans did is immediately in 2006 pick it up, created by the One True Bix, the Can't Stop the Serenity charity events, where once a year they would show Serenity on the big screen. All the money and the proceeds from that event would go to Equality Now, which is Joss Whedon's chosen charity. The Browncoats as a whole, which is the name of the Firefly fans, are extremely charitable. They do big charity auctions for everything from Equality Now to Kids Need to Read, and all the charities that we're supporting. So in keeping with that nature, we're like, okay, we kind of decided to go ahead and do it. Now, a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about and the stuff that we've done, you've all heard before. You've heard it from Brogan, you've heard it from Vaynerchuk, you've heard it from everybody. What we did is not amazing or special or different, we just did it. And I don't mean to devalue anything we did. Thank you. So I don't mean to devalue anything we did, but everybody comes up and they're like, how did you guys do this? This is amazing. And I'm like, it's a lot of hard work. And if you believe in something, you put your time, sweat, and blood into it. It's not going to come easy, and it hasn't. 2 years ago, we started on this project, and in 2 weeks, the movie comes out on our website.
Yeah, on September 4th. And actually, it's going to be online if you're not going to be in Atlanta, too. We'll talk about that a little bit.
But the community side of everything is really where this kind of starts, is we went to our market, and we said, this is what we want to do. Are you guys interested? I mean, we didn't create some lofty plan and say, we're going to rule the world, and we're going to make this movie, and everyone will love it. And especially not if we're raising money for charity. So what we did is we went to the people who would actually take it and said, would this be something you're interested in? And we got their feedback, and we started that tradition all the way through, from before we even started the script on through to the end of the process. So we got community buy-in. Fans were really extremely excited. At the time, when we went to Dragon Con, we did not realize there was 2 other attempts at a Firefly fan film that had not come out yet.
No, I think you should tell them the real part of the story, maybe like Joss Whedon.
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there.
So. Yeah.
So what we did is that once we got the permission from the community, because it's a derivative works project, we're going to need the studio's buy-in because we really like our day jobs and not getting sued. So we called Fox and we called Universal and we said, hi, we're trying to make a Firefly fan film. We want to raise a lot of money for charity. We're not going to use any clips. We're not going to use the original ship. We're not going to use anything from your series at all except for just the continuation of the story with new characters. Think of this like Firefly, the next generation. And they went, okay, you don't fit our licensing mold, you don't fit our t-shirt mold, you don't fit our, have fun with your little fan film, dude. And then we're like, all right, well, if we're going to do it, we need to get Joss Whedon's blessing, and we need to make sure he's at least aware of the project, because we are raising money for charity. So we called Joss, and Joss's office when...
Yeah, there's a little part of this story, so we're standing in front of a Starbucks, because none of us work at a Starbucks. And Michael Dougherty, if you look up on IMDb, there's another...
You got to tell the beginning part of the story to make the rest of it make sense.
I want to talk this one about, because you got to hear this.
You can IMDb me later, but the rest of the story... So anyway, the story goes like this, is I'm impatient. Really, really, really impatient. So Steve being, we're polar opposites in many ways. So Steve's like, this will never get done, we'll never get their blessing. So I'm like, give me the damn phone, I'm making a phone call. So I go outside and I'm pacing in front of Starbucks and I call Fox, because that's where we find out he's doing Dollhouse. And I'm like, hi, this is Mike Dougherty, I need Joss Whedon's office, please. Please hold. The next person. That goes through 7 times. And I'm like, I'm just getting the runaround. And on the 7th time I hear, hi, Natalie in Joss's office, how can I help you? And I think I did our sales pitch in about 5 seconds flat. I was like, hi, my name is Michael Dougherty. I want to do a Firefly fan film.
Actually, dogs and Superman were the only people that could hear him. I didn't know what happened. He
dogs 3 counties away were dying.
Yeah.
So just like you guys did, she laughed. When she got done laughing, she's like, all right, jackass, slow down, say it again. So I tell her the pitch. She's like, all right, I need you to send me a detailed outline of what you want to do. I give Joss emails every Friday. I can't guarantee he'll give you a response, or when you'll get your response, but you will get a response. So about a month and a half, we send the email off immediately as she asks, detail everything we want to do. We give her our 2-year plan that we kind of made our goals. And about a month and a half later, we got a blessing. So as you can see, it says, Josh says you have his blessing and it's cool as far as he's concerned, but is unable to say that for Universal or anyone else that might take issue with it. So that was in November 11th, 2008. This year at Comic-Con, I got in line, stood in front of Joss Whedon, and got him to sign it. So if that's not an endorsement on what we're doing, I don't know what is. But that kind of means we needed to take this seriously. When we got that email, before even the signature, we decided we created a 501c3 nonprofit, which is called Browncoats Big Damn Fan Films. Good name.
Yep. But we needed to figure a way to fund the film. So there was a bit of a thing. We're kind of opposites, but kind of like brothers, and we fight. But because I am the capitalist, and it's not on here. I'm the capitalist, and he's the idealist.
So Steve is constantly going, how can we make money? I'm like, we can't. It's a derivative works project. We're going to get sued. And then out of this, probably goes back and forth about 5 or 6 times. And then out of nowhere, I have no idea how it came up with it. I was like, we can just give it away for charity. Steve's like, well, how would we do that? I'm like, oh, PBS does it all the time with crappy opera DVDs. We could do it. So true. We did the research. We figured out that technically, if you give our nonprofit organization a donation and we give you the gift of a DVD, we are technically not selling you anything. We're still giving it away free, and we'll probably give you a DVD anyway, but you like helping charity, so it's a good, balance for both of us.
But the model, we're actually, the whole point of it is that there are 5 charities. And the 5 charities are Equality Now, Kids Need to Read, the Al Wooten Jr. Center, the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation, and the Dyslexia Foundation. Now, why they are appropriately is because they're related to the cast and the creator of Firefly, the original cast. So, Mike, you might want to point out a few things here, especially with Equality Now, with the Can't Stop the Serenity event. So that's a really big, important thing.
So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the Can't Stop the Serenity events are an annual charity showing of Serenity. I know there's one here in Seattle, there's one in Portland. We created the first Baltimore one 2 years ago because it's around my birthday, and I wanted to throw a birthday party that, I'm uncomfortable being in the middle of the stage under a spotlight. So
no, he's not. Really, he's not.
I wanted to just enjoy myself with my friends and watch my favorite movie on the big screen, and I got money for charity by doing that. That's Joss's chosen charity. Kids Need to Read was co-founded by Nathan Fillion, the star of the TV show. Al Wooten Jr. Heritage Center, Shepherd Book, Ron Glass is on the board of that. Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation is supported by Adam Baldwin, and the Dyslexia Foundation is supported by Jewel State, who plays Kaylee in the TV show. We figured if we're going to do it for charity, we need to tie it into the complete thing. It wouldn't make sense. We could go out and do Red Cross and we can do all this other fun stuff, but it won't have an emotional buy-in for anybody involved, from our crew to the, anybody. So tying it directly to the charities means we can go one step further. So we've gotten the 501c3. We're an official organization. We've chosen our charities. We move forward.
And we gotta get everybody together.
Yeah. So what we did is we created, as soon as we got that email, created a Twitter and Facebook group. That in 30 days grew to 500 people each. So I started interacting directly with those guys, asking questions. They were like, oh, it's Browncoats movie. I'm like, no, it's just me. Shut up. So we called out and said, look, we're doing a table read. I mean, the script sounds really good to me, and Steve's going to tell me it sounds good because he doesn't want to hurt my feelings if it sucks. But people that are complete strangers are going to be honest with you. So we created our first test market by doing a table read. 33 people showed up, people we'd never met before. They were on our Facebook group. They're on our Twitter group. We said, here's the date, here's the time. Show up if you like. We don't want to know until you show up that you're showing up. So 80% of the people that attended were strangers from social media. They all got to play a part, as you can see. They all read the script. We did it like a radio play so they could all get involved. Every single one of those people, with the exception of one, because she moved to the other side of the country, stayed involved with the project for 2 years. They all made notes on the script. They all became part of the process of moving the script forward, and all of their notes were incorporated, to the point that when the new script came out a month later, people were like, wow, you actually took my notes seriously. I thought you were just going to throw it away. So that started the small but loyal growing base. Our production team was 100% crowdsourced. This is just the first weekend of shooting. We did, just like we did with the, the table read.
Yeah. We made the call out to everybody around the country that could come. And the best part is this is another great kind of story of you really want your community to engage. We said we're going to have extras. We got Frontier Town to donate 3 weekends, which is near Ocean City, Maryland. It's an 1880s Western town, which if you know Firefly, it's a fringe planet. So this was the set. We asked all these people to come in, and they came in on their own dime. We thought no one would come, but
162 people showed up.
Yes.
That's not everybody. That's just Saturday.
That's this, and then another weekend, and then a different location.
Another weekend, and then another weekend. And the crew got smaller and smaller. And the reason it got smaller and smaller, it was designed that way, because we knew we could not handle 162 people every weekend for 10 weeks straight. So what it ended up happening is the people that just wanted to come out and be on camera or help a little bit could. If they wanted to come out and just do craft services, because I firmly believe if you're going to get volunteers, you need to take care of them because they're going to work their ass off for you.
We learned that you got to give people water and a lot of food, and they'll be happy. Really happy.
The amount of work you can get out of one bottle of water and a thank you is amazing. So, what you can see is all of these people volunteered their time. The top left corner is actually the set while we were waiting around. There's people that have never worked on a major motion picture operating a boom mic or carrying lights or getting involved in the process and providing feedback. People volunteered their time. This gentleman right here that's right over this young lady's shoulder is Logan Liskovec. He started on the first weekend just finding out about this online and said, you know what, I'm going to come down and help. He lives in New Jersey. We're in Baltimore, Maryland. We're a 3.5-hour drive. From that first weekend, every weekend till now, he comes down every other weekend and helps out with the film on his own dime because he believes in what we're doing. So everything was 100% crowdsourced, and this is their movie. It stopped being mine the minute I involved them, and that's kind of the big portion of what we're saying. Is like, if you're going to put something out in the universe and you're going to create something that you're very passionate about, if you hold on to it too tightly, it's going to be as great as you want it to be, but if you want their help, it's going to be as great as they're going to help you get it there.
The other thing Mike didn't mention is that with the sponsors, in addition to donations from just individuals, St. John's Properties, a property company, donated about 8,000 square feet, which we kind of turned into 16, and we built a spaceship. So after the sets were done, we built a set over about 2 to 3 months and shot the rest of the film there. So the dedication, people spent their time, this gentleman right there on the bottom is Bruce. He was an avionics engineer, and he built the cockpit. And Dan's he was amazing. He's actually an engineer from Microsoft and built a lot of the woodwork. He's just the amazing talent that came with this.
So, take into consideration that more than half of the people had never worked on a film before, never done any kind of theater work. You have a mentorship program that comes in that's completely created by them that we couldn't have even imagined. People that were experienced started sharing their experience and started getting other people involved. What we didn't know is when Bruce came in one day, he's like, I got this seat buckle. Do you want to use it on the set? And we're like, sure. And I get it, and it's got Air Force One on it. And I'm like, is this for real? He's like, yeah, I was an airplane mechanic on Air Force One. They were throwing them away, so would you like it on your? Yes.
Mm-hmm. When he went home to Florida, he went to a boneyard and got a bunch of yokes for us for the cockpit. I mean, this is the kind of stuff people were everywhere and they picked things up for the set. It's incredible.
As it was said earlier, we just opened ourselves up to what our volunteers would come, and we never knew what we were going to get, and what we got was always more than what we wanted.
Yeah, and the other thing about these sets and the whole production is that there's also a lot of behind the scenes on the production side that Mike said, like, we shot with a Red 1, so camera geeks, awesome camera. But the first part of it was donated, and we actually lost the camera halfway through, and the way I found it was Twitter. I actually put a call out, we had a shoot that weekend. I had 4 days to find a camera.
Yeah, can you imagine having one of the only Red 1 cameras that you're aware of in the state of Maryland, and the camera guy's like, sorry dude, weekend shooting, I sold the camera.
So a friend of mine I put out, Joel Markwitt, it's up in Baltimore Zoo, said, I know a guy who's got 2. 2? Really? And I called him, he's like, well, we negotiated a great rate, he knew at the charities, and we worked it out, and we had another Red 1. And that's the kind of thing we wouldn't have found out without social media and Twitter.
So moving right along, because we
but the best part is
So we got sponsors that resonate with the community.
Yeah.
As Steve mentioned, we had Frontier Town. I went there when I was 11 to 16 years old because my parents made me. And then I grew to love the place. And then I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez. So he had this thing when he does his 10-minute flick school is create your project based out of the things you know are around you, and that was one of them. Why that's important is that kind of started playing into a lot of things. I'm a huge caffeine junkie. So Jones Soda made sense, and Steve made the connection and got it done. So that's Adam Baldwin holding our T-shirt and Jones Soda.
And just a note on that, I met them here at Nomedex last year, and I told them about the project. They saw me mention in it. We talked it through, and then January they basically came on board, and our pictures are on the bottle.
Speaking of which, we do have a bunch of the bottles here. We want to give away. Jones gave us some awesome T-shirts and hats and stuff. So if you ask a question, and we want you to ask a question because it's completely interactive, you're going to get something. But because I told Mike Spear I will do this, I am going to open a big old can of whoop ass at Nomedex. I'm true to my word. So not just Jones Soda. We have 15-minute warning. Thank you. We have also Network Solutions.
They've provided the whole infrastructure. I do blogging with them, and they provided our e-commerce site, so we didn't have to worry about all the things in the back end. And also, not only Jones, but is Ustream, actually. We really haven't talked a lot about that, but September 4th is when the premiere is. If you can't make it to Atlanta, it's going to be supported by Ustream, who's actually streaming this event as well. They've given us their full support, and they've donated the Facebook page and a lot of other promotional things. We're very grateful. And with that, you guys can share the film with us and go to the party afterward, live stream. So we're pretty psyched.
While we're getting all of this great stuff given to us as far as sponsorship goes, because we are being legitimate about our nonprofit, we decided we couldn't wait until September 4th to start raising money for the charities. We needed to get them in the forefront because people like you may not necessarily be aware of Kids Need to Read or Al Wooten Jr. because they're kind of small and people aren't aware of them yet. So using social media, we started raising money for the different charities. The first thing we did is we raised $1,700 for Kids Need to Read to have their first booth at Dragon Con. Why that's relevant is Kids Need to Read was co-founded by PJ Harisma and Nathan Fillion. PJ is a sci-fi author who really got passionate about wanting to put books in underprivileged schools. Sci-fi books, sci-fi convention, makes sense. So we raised enough money and got in their space, and they've been cool with us ever since. We did Equality Now, the Kids Need to Read, for the Can't Stop the Serenity in Baltimore. We also had Adam Baldwin sign a signed maquette of his figure from Firefly and auction that off to Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation. And he was awesome enough to do a private video as a thank you for the person who won. So not only do they get to keep the maquette with his autograph, they have a keepsake that they get to keep with them that they could get nowhere else.
Because the whole point was you continually connect the communities not only with our cause, but these causes as well. I mean, that was his main missions as well as the awareness.
And we did it with no shame.
Yeah, he really has no shame.
So I kid you not, that's me, go back one.
Oh, yeah.
That's me at Dragon Con. I got people to donate $1 or $2 to spank and touch my monkey. And I can't tell you, like, there's this one guy who had his kid on his shoulder, and I'm like, spank my monkey for $1, touch it for $2. And he turned around like he was going to kick my ass. And he's got his kid on his shoulders, and I'm just like, dude, seriously, it's a stuffed monkey, don't kill me. And he just pulls out his wallet, throws 10 in, and keeps walking. But just kind of getting outside of the box of what's traditional and what's comfortable allowed us to raise just $50 for me standing there for an hour. So then we created a unified message. Steve mentioned earlier about I am a browncoat. What we started doing is trying to make sure that the fans realized that the people that were involved in the TV show and other series were just as passionate about as they are. So go back.
Oh, okay.
That's Sabrina Maislin standing on the Great Wall of China in our T-shirt. Mark Shepard, who was in the T-shirt in the TV show. A young lady, I completely forgot her name at Epcot. She felt so passionate. She wanted her mom to take a picture of that while she was at her favorite place. And then Joel State. So the message became that all of us, regardless of what are our social status or where we are in the world, where we happen to be in this very moment, we're all fans of this one thing that we love very much, and we could all share in a moment together.
So the carrying call became, I'm a browncoat. And we want to know, we asked out there if some of you are too.
So we have another little clip to show you. We created a social media marketing campaign where we asked people to say their name and say, I am a browncoat. And we had them put it on YouTube with a hashtag. And we got over 120 of those that got combined and put into our DVD. But not only that, we had some pretty big celebrities that you'll see a few of them in there that took their time and gave their opportunity to say the same thing and tell their passion as well. So every week up until August, we would put out a mashup, and you never knew who was in. You put your video out, you waited about 2 weeks, you could be in there with Adam Baldwin, you could be in there with anybody, or you could just watch the clip.
Contacted Feldman on the way in. He's got a job for us to pick up if we're interested.
You meet my man at the place and carry the cargo the rest of the way to Boris.
We have a pilot.
Let's pretend this deal is contingent on you taking one on.
Seems to me I've got the same equipment as you do, lady, so if you can captain the ship, I just might be able to fly it. You need the job and I need the work.
If you're the pilot, we're gonna...
Hi, I'm Alan Tudyk, and I'm a browncoat.
Hi, I'm Elise. And I'm Autumn. And we are Arizona Browncoats.
Wait.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jackie Chapman. I'm from New Zealand, and I am a browncoat.
Wait, why am I sitting down like a jackass? If I'm sitting down, I need to be petting a cat like a supervillain. Hello, my name is Will Wheaton, and I am a browncoat.
My name is Beth Nelson, and I'm a browncoat.
I'm Raphael Feldman, and I'm a browncoat. I'm Jan Feldman, and I'm a browncoat too.
My name is Ken, and I'm a browncoat!
We're the cats in the room with you, and we're the browncoats. We're browncoats.
Hi. Hello. I'm Tim Minear, and I'm a brown shirt. Coat. I'm a brown coat.
Scott.
I'm Will Baker with the Dyslexia Foundation, and I'm a brown coat.
I am Chris Ennis, and I am brown coat.
I'm Nathan Fillion, and I'm a brown coat.
Hi, I'm Chris Pirillo, and I'm a brown coat.
So we're going to be continuing that on because we have our DVD is already at press. We're getting more of these that trickle in. So if you're really inspired and you want to record one, just throw the hashtag up on YouTube. We're doing a collector's DVD towards the end of the year, which is going to have some artwork created by, like, I believe we have Joseph Michael Linsner on board and Jason Palmer. That we're going to raise the dollar value so we could raise even more money for charity. And we're going to include even more of those I Am a Browncoat videos in there. But the whole purpose of that is they create the video. They have a specific phrase we give them to say that said, I just created my hashtag I Am a Browncoat video for Browncoats movie. They put it out on Twitter with the link. People will watch that, go create their own, and it became viral. I mean, all I did every 2 weeks is just go, hey, have you seen the latest one? And I just pick a random one and throw it up there. And we'd get feedback and chatter on it. And I'd have to go and I'd do a little bit of management and find the people that put it on Vimeo or Vidler or all the places that I really didn't tell them to go. But that's the community, and they're going to go where they want to, and you can't really force them.
We should also mention we're Browncoats Movie on Twitter and also browncoatsmovie.com, but there's also the Facebook page as well. So
what's next for us is that the DVD, I came to Gnomedex late because I was making sure that the DVD went to the press. It's there. The pre-orders are already starting to go in. Money to charities is already starting to go in. Our premiere is on September 4th. You could watch it online. Ustream, which is also one of our sponsors, is giving us, I don't know what the package is.
Yeah,
but it's
I mentioned
good.
earlier, the Facebook stuff, they've been gracious. So we're going to be a lot of promotions. So you'll be able to find it also on the premiere day, too.
So what you can do, and I bet you're expecting me to pitch you, and I'm not. What I'm going to tell is what you can do is get off your ass. And I mean that in the nicest way. If there's something you're passionate about, if there's something you want to do, whether it's a movie like ours, whether it's want to create a business, just do it. Because at any point, if we'd have hesitated, at any point, if we'd have just gotten like cold feet and walked away, we wouldn't be here 2 years later. And I'm so proud to be here 2 years later.
Well, for me,
because there's no Gnomedex next year.
Well,
just get up and do it. I mean, honestly, people keep asking me, what are the tools that you used? We used Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. That's it? Yep, that's it. We just got in there and we got involved and we engaged. We engaged. People now know more about my personal life because of DMs with me than I care to admit because I engaged. So I would say don't be afraid to do whatever it is that you want to do. Just go and do it. I mean, those 4 young gentlemen that created their own news channel kick our ass.
Yeah, amazing.
I wish I had your bravery when I was that age, dude.
The one thing that I would say is that, remember, we're all communities of fans. We have the power and the ability to pretty much do anything at this point. So we hope you'll join us and do what you need to do or join us on September 4th.
So the next slide is just really simple. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kat. So definitely, you're going to get a T-shirt, hat, something. I want to get you to inspire to ask questions. Don't be shy, because I'm certainly not.
We have time for questions.
One question. You said you were doing your premiere in Atlanta. Is there anything set up for regional screenings? Do you need a network for that?
What we're doing is we're simultaneously, just like Gnome Decks, we're playing it live for people to watch it, but we're playing it online simultaneously on Ustream. That we're going to keep that up for as long as we possibly can for people to come back to it. As far as affiliate screenings, if you want to grab a copy of the DVD and have your own, please do. Try to raise money for charity.
Right. We're also looking at other distribution models as well to get as much awareness and and CSTS eventually in 2011. So there's a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
So Tack Anderson, I guess I'm kind of curious, like, what advice would you have for people having never done a movie before, like kind of taking this on?
We really never did one before.
Well, no, I mean, for others, people who haven't. I mean, what advice would you give for people who wanted to do their own, movie, whether it was something of this magnitude or even, I guess, something smaller, having such a volunteer force behind it?
I've got a question. If I could return one, is how much do you think that cost us? Well, less than $27,000.
Well, there's a lot of CGI was donated.
A lot of our
the sets, some of the other locations, and a lot of other things as well. But it was all crowdsourced as well.
Full disclaimer: I've never gone to film school. This is my first movie, my first script, my first everything. When I wasn't kidding, that just get up there and go do it. Just go do it. Like, do the research. I really like Kevin Smith and Robert Rodriguez and all of those guys. And very fortunate for me, they do chock-a-block full of DVD extras of how and why they do things. Listen to your commentaries. I just watched the crap out of the 10-minute flick school. And so I was just like, okay, I could explain and give a 10-minute flick school based on what he said. And then I just took that and learned. And I'll be completely honest, when I first got on the set, I had the camera operator had worked on a couple movies before, and I'm just like, all right, guys, go. And he's like, hey, dumbass.
You got to say action.
The sound guy needs to hear sound rolling, and the camera guy needs to say sound, and then you do action.
Same, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So I learned, and by the end of it, the last weekend of filming, we needed a camera operator. One of the guys came out and was named Powell. He came out at the very last minute because our camera guy got sick. Mm-hmm. Powell we did this amazing 3-minute long, one-take shot with 14 focus pulls. For those that worked a camera, that's not easy, and I could not picture how to do it.
It's badass. It's really badass.
So by the end, Powell and I are just outside BSing. We're kind of just figuring each other out because we didn't have much time to talk. And he's like, oh, is this your first film? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I would have never known by the time I got here. I'm like, you should have been here 4 months ago. And then I'm like, so what were you doing before this? He's like, oh, I was at Ralph Lauren's house filming his birthday camera or party. I was like, with a red? He's like, yeah, I'll have it no other way. I'm like, and what were you doing before that? Yeah, I was working motion capture for James Cameron's Avatar. I was like, what? And he's like, can I have your movie for my reel? I was like,
Yeah.
So you'll never know who you're going to get. Just go out and do it, man. Find people. You'll never know who the brother of the cousin, sister's uncle is. And when you find out that you're passionate about it,
yeah,
go for it.
Like I said, we're fans. We're communities of fans. So it's not even just this. It's other things. So you got to have a passion.
My name is Josh, and I'm a Browncoat.
Hello, Josh.
You already sort of answered this question, but I wanted to know, did you guys do the screenwriting and the script yourselves? Was that?
Yeah, totally. I'm an idiot, and I didn't know anything about Final Draft, so I did it in Word.
Yeah, we sat over many times. We worked on the story and the characters, we put that together and called a treatment, which is basically like an executive summary of a business plan.
And
being the entrepreneurs.
For anybody that wants to learn how to write a script, do it in Word, because at the end of it, you will know all the ins and outs of the mechanics that you could possibly can, and also get in front of a writing group. That's one of the things that kept me sane and kept everything moving.
I'll be in my bunk.
Thank you.
Yes.
Quick question. Oh. Do you have a tie-in for PAX? It's in Seattle, Penny Arcade Expo. I'm a Browncoat, and I'm an Omega Knot. And so if you want a little spotlight on it, that might not be a bad thing. Penny Arcade Expo, the gaming expo.
I would love that.
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay. I read your comic all the time.
Felicia Day's a big fan.
Yeah, I just drooled over Penny Arcade. I'm sorry, man. I'm a geek. Any other questions? Question in the back.
Sam. I'm Al, and I'm another Browncoat.
Thank you, Al. Doesn't it feel like an AA meeting when you stand up and say that? Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm a Browncoat.
Are you going to have extras on the DVD?
We are. We're going to have a behind-the-scenes featurette. We're going to have kind of the journey of the film. We have bloopers. We have everything that you would possibly expect. Plus, all of those I Am a Browncoats are merged into one DVD thing, or chapters that you can cycle through and find them.
And
So-
also, as well as the other footage, there's also another extra called building a spaceship, which is on the more technical side. So you get a chance to understand the construction and the barn raising, which was building 16-foot walls and Amish barn raising in 12 midnight. That's cool. But you'll also see with I'm a Browncoat, all those people that contributed to be the community. They're all part of history and on the DVD.
So yeah, everybody that was following us up until 3 a.m. on last Saturday on Twitter, Facebook, who donated on causes or on YouTube, they're all listed in the credits. Our credits are 12 minutes long. The movie is 82 minutes long. That's without the credits. So I see a
So
gentleman
that could be
standing in the
considered a
back.
sequel, couldn't it? I mean, actually.
Yeah, we can do a sequel of just credits.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Lloyd, and I'm also a brown coat. But I'm curious, what's next for you two guys? You've got a great future ahead of you doing this kind of stuff, don't you?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What's next for you guys?
Sleep.
Yeah, sleep. Mm-hmm.
No, seriously, you can do
No,
another
I'm not
movie?
kidding. Like, well, I was working on the DVD up until coming out here. So yeah, after this, I really want to focus on getting this done. We have 1 year to move 32,000 units, which is 32,000 DVDs. If we could do that, that's over $500,000 for the charities, split 5 ways. That's $110,000 for each charity. The reason 32,000 units is important is because that is the opening weekend sales of the Serenity Collector's Edition tin that retailed for $60. So if the hardcore fans can spend $60 to get the DVD they already own and a special metal tin, they're more than willing to spend $20 to help charity. And if they don't like the movie, they got a $20 coaster.
And a $20 write-off.
So somebody had mentioned, and I don't know if they're, the last thing, are we good? I feel like I should be stealing third.
Right.
Yes,
Hi, I don't actually have a question. I just wanted to say thank you so much because it's really inspiring as a creative person to see people with creative passion and put it into action and actually follow through to the end.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you very
it's
much.
really amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
So since it didn't get asked, a gentleman asked me earlier who had left, who is probably watching this on Ustream as he flies home, is anybody involved from the TV show and the movie involved in this project? And as you're aware, you saw a couple of people doing their I Am a Browncoats. Joss Whedon got his autograph, and I am happy to tell you, since it's 2 weeks out, we have cameos from Michael Fairman, who played Niska, Jan and Raphael Feldman, who played the twins in Serenity, and we also have Adam Baldwin, who makes an appearance in the movie. So this is more than just a bunch of guys running around, with lightsabers in the state park. It's an actual production.
Yeah, that's what I used to call it, yeah. Don't forget the bathrobes. Bathrobes,
bathrobes.
lightsabers, state park. 3 elements of some fan films, but we won't really go there. This wasn't a Star Wars film. But I think the other thing is that those who were the cast of the original Firefly, they're Browncoats too. They're passionate about this, and they believe in this, and they're appreciative of the fans, and they wanted to show their thanks, and we thank them for being a part of it.
So any other questions before we go? Cool. If you asked a question, please see us in the back. We'll give you a T-shirt. I was going to throw them out and be a jackass, but I'm looking at some really expensive laptops I can't afford to replace. And I'm not throwing bottles.
And the bottles. So we got bottles too. We got bottles, so if you want a Jones soda bottle.
Thank you guys very much for having us out and taking time.
Thanks,
to listen.
guys.